Good morning. So, taking a look at all the charts here on the ES, it looks like we might have a major uptrend, a super wide one. I'm uncertain about that though. It just looks like there could be some support here. We're making higher lows, and I dragged over the highs to see if this could possibly fit. We clearly have this uptrend that's probably going to need a break in new high, so looking for a long there. With the NQ, I think that we could draw some sort of similar uptrend, and maybe something like that is correct. Clearly 2 legs down, uptrend into some congestion, and then another strong uptrend like the ES, so looking for a long there. CL looks like it has 2 legs down, downtrend break new low. I actually think this uptrend is a little bit wider, something like that with a break in new high. Looks like it has 2 legs in between, so down leg, downtrend break new low, uptrend, 2 legs down, break new high. And then we kind of have this like transition period. So short-term downtrend isn't able to play out. You get 2 legs back, some congestion, and then you get the second leg down, creating the measured move. Now this uptrend has a break and a new high. And it looks like we might be in a range because we have these overnight highs and the overnight lows. So it's possible that we're in a range. But right now, I don't really see anything to do in the CL. RTY looks like 2 legs down and then an uptrend. So looking for a long here. I'm not sure if there was a range here, but it looks like there was definitely some support there and some resistance there. So keep an eye on that as well. I forgot to minimize those other screens there. So I already marked up these trends and everything on the second monitor too. Just kind of going through and marking up whatever ones that I sort of forgot about or didn't mark up. Okay, so on ES, it looks like we've already hit the break and new high for this uptrend. So far, it hasn't been super convincing, especially considering how strong this uptrend was. So if we do get some sort of pullback, I might still be considering a long, but for the most part, probably not. Gonna lock up my phone, so each morning I lock up my phone in a lockbox, so that way I don't even have the chance to use it. So I got that in there for close to 3 hours. uptrend is continuing higher, so it's pretty convincing. Break a new high now. Looks like the incur is probably going to follow suit. CL, not really much to think about because we already have the break a new high here. Just kind of waiting until something else happens, and the RTY is still working up higher. I'm going to run downstairs really quickly and make a cup of coffee. Okay, doesn't look like I missed really anything here. Uptrend still continuing higher on RTY. Continuing to move up on the ES. This uptrend is most likely incorrect, but it could be right. Could also be more similar to the NQ and something like this, or it could not be. There could not be one at all, an uptrend at all there. So really just looking for a long on the RTY right now, because this uptrend is still continuing higher. for about 5 minutes until the open. I noticed in my meditation this morning it was pretty hard to sort of clear my mind. So I'm hoping that that doesn't carry over to the trading day, but want to mention that in case I notice anything later. It's really cold in here. In the house, I mean. I'm like, got my sweatshirt on, my hands are really cold. So we're starting to pull back on RTY. Still looks to me like we need to break a new high of this uptrend. It could be drawn a little bit tighter to where there is one, but to me it looks like this is all kind of one fluid up movement. All right, looks like RTY has made the break and is moving to a new high. So probably no setup there. Looking like an exhaustive move right in the end. So that was a big up move. Feels exhaustive. So not really looking for any longs there. Not really looking for any longs on ES either, because we already have the break and new high of this trend. So it's tempting to think maybe take a short back to the EMA, but with such a strong up bias so far, I don't think that's a good idea, for myself at least. Be a different story if it was like a range or something like that, but same with the NQ. You have the uptrend on CL that has a break in a new high. Now just waiting for some sort of clearer structure to take a trade, but not really seeing anything so far. So yep, we're about a minute from the open, and it doesn't look like there's really anything for me to do, at least right now. continuing higher on RTY. Now getting a big down move on RTY. The ES and incur are sort of chopping sideways still. So still don't see anything to do on really any of the charts. The ES looks like this uptrend is being respected, at least right now. I'm curious to see if there's going to be any kind of other spike in channel that comes into play, like maybe something along these lows here. But so far it doesn't look like it. NQ also looks to be respecting its uptrend. We got this congestive area. It looks like we're breaking out of that, so breakout pullback, maybe head lower. So looking to see how prices are going to react off of these main trend lines, if they're even able to get down there. Now on the CL, I could see the potential for a measured move to the high side, so 1, 2, but also it's just this uptrend with a break in 2 legs to a new high right now. So you can see this first leg and the second leg here. So breaking 2 legs up, basically perfect too. So 2 literally perfect measured legs down, I mean to the tick. It's kind of crazy. RTY continuing higher. Definitely looks like there might be some sort of spike in channel here. For some reason I'm yawning a lot today, but I'm not actually really that tired. So it looks like the spike in channel that I had drawn is not correct. Just want to keep an eye on that double top there in case it comes into play. Clearly getting a correction trend down. So yeah, nothing to really do anywhere. Okay, so we are getting some takeoff higher on the NQ. Looks like this probably was a close outside of this, or a failed break out of the range. Now we're headed higher. Maybe finding some support off the midline. It's a possibility. Then you have the ES, kind of turning up in the middle of nowhere. Maybe off the EMA there. Could be some horizontal support coming into play. Want to see if there's any kind of midline or anything. If I draw this uptrend, doesn't look like it. So far, the read looks correct, but this major uptrend might be wrong. Same with the NQ, the major uptrend could still be wrong. CL, everything's played out. So just kind of waiting for something clearer to happen. Finding some support there. And going over to the RTY. Everything played out to the upside, the uptrend played out. And we have a short-term downtrend with a break in a new low. And it looks like prices are entering a correction phase, whether that is just sideways action or prices are going to start reversing there. Okay, so I think this is interesting. The NQ is trading up while the RTY is trading down. Usually the ES, the NQ and the RTY are all sort of in sync, but at least right now they're not. ES made a double top and a lower high there. Could be some sort of range. Also could not be. On the CL, now that all the uptrends have played out and you have this strong downtrend, I might consider a second entry short. So if this continues down a little bit further and then we get a second entry that makes a lower high, that might be something I want to take. On the RTY, it looks like we're working towards the second leg down, and I want to see if prices are able to extend past that, or whether they're just going to stop there, or what's going to happen as far as that second leg goes. I lost the little Keurig thing that you put coffee grounds in, and so I literally had to just put the coffee grounds into some hot water, and so they're just kind of floating around. It's pretty gross, but you know, making it happen. Strong downtrend on the ES, so you can see this uptrend break 2 legs to a new high, downtrend gets a break a new low, uptrend attempts to continue here, but makes a lower high, and then we get this sell-off. So Definitely still hesitant to take a short, given what looks like an overall up bias still. So I'm just going to kind of wait and see what goes on there. Very similar action on the NQ, though we did move to a new high with this trend. So whereas the ES came up short, this one has a break a new high, congestive action, failed breakout, leads to a rally that creates another new high before we sell off. And we're coming close to what could be an uptrend here, so I want to see how prices are going to react. RTY wasn't able to quite hit this measured move, so we had the break and new low of the downtrend, not hitting this measured move, and we're turning up higher. I'm most interested right now in the NQ and CL. Thinking there's a possible short setting up on CL and a possible long setting up on the NQ. Clearly there's some support in this area, so we drag this in. Clearly there's some support here. So I might be interested if the short-term downtrend gets a break and attempt at a new low or a new low and a nice bullish bar coming off this trend line and this support level, then that's something that I might be interested in taking. On the RTY, there's the potential to get a failure here after so uptrend has played out, downtrends have all played out. There's a potential for a failure to catch the start of the next up move. This is a pretty strong push right here, so that could be a decent trade to take. I think most of the grounds have sort of sunk to the bottom though. I'm talking about my coffee, of course. So there's the possibility for a second entry long on the NQ right now. I want to see it kind of pull down here a little bit more. Yep, something like that.
Order submitted.
Not sure of this uptrend. This downtrend still doesn't have a break and new low. There is clearly some support here. I think there's overall an up bias. So let's see what's going to happen here. In order to be interested, I'd need to see this bar either make an equal low or tick lower than this sort of bearish bar. And it looks like it's going to go ahead and head higher there. Might still be looking for a failure, so let's wait and see if that's going to occur or not. On the ES, it looks like you're bouncing off the midline, or at least finding some support at the midline, not really bouncing off of it. The short-term downtrend still needs to break a new low though. Same with this one, but if we get a failure here, then I might still be interested. So you're definitely not finding much buying off of what could be this trend line here, which doesn't make me feel great about it, but if this bar does find a lot of momentum here, then I might still be willing to take that. I'd have to find a lot of upward momentum. Looks like we're probably just going to close through there. And this uptrend is
Order
most likely
canceled.
incorrect. So maybe something like that, fading that off the opposite side and also finding those two touches there. So this downtrend now has a break and new low. If this is a bullish bar, I don't want to take it, but I could see how that could be a decent trade. There'd be a lot of reliance on this uptrend that I'm very unsure about. So I think I'm going to skip that if it does occur. More than anything, it just looks like this range is kind of coming back into play. So in fact, I might drag this down and just have that as one kind of bigger range. There's not much happening here. Pretty slow and methodical. I was considering a possible second entry short on CL, but this is a really strong push up. So it's more of like a big down, big up kind of action, so I'm just going to leave it alone. Yeah, just not much to do. Not much to say, not much to do. Looks like we're working up towards a second leg, possibly. I want to see what prices are going to do as they approach this resistance level. So this uptrend has played out. This would be a second entry short, close to this resistance, and could be a decent trade. It's a little bit out of my league though. Okay, incur, just going to go ahead and ditch this uptrend that I've had drawn. And I want to look at possible range. So here's the true overnight support. Here's what could be the support. And that's what could be the resistance. It's possible that there's something flatter that I'm not seeing right now. But as of right now, I'm going to stick with this looking somewhat like a range. I'm actually going to change up basically my entire read here. Breakout. Okay. I think that's seems more accurate. This uptrend still could be correct on ES, but I'm pretty uncertain about that. Look at this downtrend on both of those ones. And you are getting the second entry short on CL, so this would be your second entry short, but like I said, I'm not interested in that. It didn't set up like I would have wanted it to. You did get the second entry short, so I mentioned this one earlier as the uptrends have played out, getting close to this resistance. Second entry short, bearish bar. Could have been a decent trade there, but a little bit out of my comfort zone. So two potential shorts. The ES, potentially, if this downtrend is correct, could get a second entry short or something of that nature. And same with the NQ. Though these downtrends aren't like perfect right now. To be honest, I'm having a little bit of a hard time figuring out what's going on today. I haven't seen anything like extraordinarily clear, and I've changed my read a few times, which I don't really love doing. I'd rather have like one read and then ideally just have it be correct, and not have to constantly change things around. It's possible that this is just 2 legs down instead of a trend, so that's definitely a possibility. Oops, this one's reached the 2 legs. So let's see if this downtrend holds or not. So far it looks like the downtrend is holding on the NQ. Similarly on the ES. Finding a double bottom there. and breaking through what looks like it could have been a correct uptrend, but it is right at this measured move, so it's possible that this is just 2 measured likes down, and we're now done with the downtrend. I'm trying to think of like what else could be correct. Don't know. Okay, so the ES basically came really close to this possible uptrend. I still don't know if this downtrend is correct, so let's see if it gets a attempt at a new extreme, or if we just move higher. Because it's possible that we could pull this in a little bit tighter. Well, maybe not. I was gonna say we could pull it in tighter and have it so it comes off that trend line, but I don't think quite can. So let's see what's gonna happen. The NQ and the ES are basically moving tick for tick right now. They look the exact same. There is the potential for a second entry short on NQ, also the ES, but more so the NQ because it doesn't really have that uptrend that I'm looking at on the ES. It could have H uptrend, but I don't think I'm going to take that anyway. It's a little bit too ambiguous. Here it looks a little bit sideways. I'm not sure about this downtrend. It's already made the 2 measured likes down. The overall bias is up. I think I'm better off skipping that one. Same with the ES. There's better trades out there. There's places where I'm more sure than I am right now. Doesn't feel like a hell yeah setup. Okay, so the NQ is getting some down movement there. So this was a decently strong down bearish bar for the second entry short. But like I said, I'm still not really looking to take that one personally. It could end up being decent, but I'm not certain. And looks like we are continuing down on the NQ and the ES. So probably approaching that breaking new low for the downtrend, or at least attempting to. I'll be interested to see on the ES whether we create this break and new low or this uptrend is going to hold. On the NQ, basically same here. I'm interested to see if this if these two measured legs down are going to be the low before the next push phase, or if we're just going to continue downwards. Right now, I'm just not really sure of anything, to be honest. We have these two legs down. I, of course, see that, and breaking two legs up. I see that downtrend, no break in the new low. Uptrend plays out early, so you're just kind of feeling range like here with the big up and the big down, and nothing to really take there. RTY, I'm also feeling pretty range like. You did get this trade that I pointed out earlier after all the uptrends have played out with the second entry short. Big bearish bar right close to this resistance area, so that could be a decent trade, but like I said, a little bit out of my comfort zone. Now it looks like this might just be a range here. It's tempting to draw some sort of, I don't really think that's right. One possibility is to move the uptrend anchor down to about here, and maybe it looks like this, but you're still not pushing away from this uptrend. So you're not pushing away from this main line, the trend line, like you would expect if it is there. You didn't actually get any follow through on the second entry. So it would have been a first entry, second entry, and you would have gotten trapped here. Nothing on the CL, nothing on the RTY. It's crazy whenever I'm watching 4 charts and there's like nothing interesting whatsoever. You'd think there'd be like always something happening. chopping sideways on the ES and the NQ. Looks like there's like a range here. Whether the lows are down here or a little bit higher, I'm not sure. Clearly on the ES, got this tight congestion area. There's the possibility for a short on CL. You're coming up short each time here. So you have this resistance, you're coming up short, you have a strong sell-off. So if you get a second entry short, then I'll probably be interested in that. I'm going to go ahead and draw this as a range, even though I'm not sure if that is quite correct. The midline is holding well. There's only one touch on the low side though. I know the resistance is here, I'm just not sure about the support. Again, second entry short, might be interested. I've definitely been sort of zoned out today, but there's not really much to zone into. Like there's just not really much happening. So I'm not sure if I like need to be 100% zoned in to the chart. Like in that case, is it okay for me to kind of like think about other things? I don't really know. I'm not really sure. It is actually pretty incredible to be able to sit here and not do anything on 4 charts. I mean, it took a while to get to the point where I can just sit here and be pretty content not doing anything. So I'm definitely happy with my progress in that sense. Super congestive. Not even really worth drawing this trend here. It's clearly just sideways action. Just because I'm okay sitting here doesn't mean that I wouldn't like something to happen. I am quite bored. I would like something to happen. CL, I was thinking maybe a second entry short, but with how these bars down here ended up forming, I'm not looking for that. I kind of wanted like a spike down and like a 1-2 up, and now this is like a not super strong move down and then like a kind of sideways action. So yeah, no. On the NQ, it looks like we're finally moving towards this break a new low. So maybe the range is just up here. Maybe it's just like that. Doesn't really matter. I don't think it's going to come super into play. But haven't quite hit it yet. Getting close though. This uptrend is looking less and less correct as prices go. I can keep dragging it out, but there comes a point where I have to say, well, this is probably just not right. So clearly hitting the break a new low on the NQ now. And might even look for a measured leg of this down. Possibly. Yes, following suit. Gonna go ahead and get rid of this trend. And look for this measured leg as well. So not really looking for anything now that the both of those downtrends have played out. And we are continuing down on the RTY. I almost forgot about this one. I wonder if there's some kind of downtrend like this working down. Could also be maybe like some sort of spike in channel coming down here. Clearly this range isn't quite right. It's just this resistance. Still no setups there. So kind of looking back here. Just trying to see if there's any setups that I might have missed. This is a second entry short, but it's like super congestive right into those lows. So no on that one. It's too tight of a congestive area, so nothing there. Maybe you consider this a second entry short and 2 legs back, as like this being a, actually, it's not true. It's not even a second entry short. It kind of looks like 2 legs back, but really I think this is the first leg and this is the second leg. So, I mean, maybe you consider this one, but it's so congestive that I don't really think so. Congestive and then like finding the support. So I don't think so on that one, but whatever, I'll put it there. CL. The only thing that I can think of is this uptrend has a break in 2 legs to a new high. So maybe that, but again, it's just super aggressive and way out of my comfort zone. That's all I see. This is the one that I've liked the most so far today, is this second entry short after all the uptrends have played out off the resistance level. But it's still not like a perfect entry for me. It's not a hell yeah kind of entry. Okay, so pretty strong move up on the ES and the NQ. Downtrend played out, strong move up. Same here, downtrend played out, and you're getting a strong move up here. So there's the potential for some sort of long, but you are kind of in the middle of nowhere. So I have to keep that in mind. But this could be some sort of reversal type of area. Or at least after this bigger correction is played out, we could be starting the next like push phase up. I'm not really sure about this RTY one. Looks like it might just be 2 legs down. Maybe if you pull this in real tight, could be like a downtrend that then has a break in a new low, creating the second leg down. So on the ES, I might consider a failure. The downtrend is played out and you're getting a strong push up. So maybe if you get a good failed second entry short, same with the NQ, then maybe I'd be interested, but I'm sort of on the fence about that. Just kind of depends on how it sets up. I don't want to take any kind of just like not so great entry there or anywhere really. Gotta run downstairs real quick. It sounds like someone might be knocking. Turns out they're just treating the house for termites or something, so nothing I need to do. So I've only drank like, I don't know, like not even a quarter of my cup of coffee, and I feel pretty wired right now. I don't know if today is the day that I want to feel wired because it's such a slow day in the market. I'm gonna check and see if Mac has posted his chart for the day. Let's see. Looks like he hasn't posted it yet, so I'll check back later. I always like to just see what he posted. Sometimes I don't even change my chart to match his. Just depends on how I like my read versus his. Sometimes I feel like mine fits better for me. Not saying that his is wrong. If anything, mine is probably the one that's wrong, but sometimes I do like the way that mine fits better than his, and sometimes he has things that I didn't even consider that are correct. Shoot. Here we go. On the NQ, there's this one leg up right here, and it looks like it came back and tested this old support area, holding as resistance. But it also looks like there might be some sort of larger trend in play, holding prices down there. I'm not sure about that one. Not sure about that, but it could be the case. You do have the same one leg up here on the ES, but it doesn't really look to me like there could be a wider trend there. That, well, there could, it just doesn't look quite as, doesn't look as good as it does on the NQ. With how closely correlated the NQ and the ES are though, if one of them isn't right, then chances are the other one isn't either. So, or you know, if one of them is right, then chances are the other is too. So we'll keep an eye on that and see. But right now, just not much to do. Just kind of hanging out, waiting for something to happen. Sure is cold. Moving up on RTY makes me think that my read is correct here, that this downtrend has played out and there's been 2 legs down. Because now you're turning up here pretty strongly. Definitely feeling tempted to like go surf the web or something because there's just nothing happening. I'm not going to do it, but I like to mention that so I know how I'm feeling whenever I review this later on. On the NQ, I drew this larger downtrend. It appears it's not correct. If anything, we're just kind of moving sideways. To me, it feels like on the ES, most of all, that this downtrend has played out, and now we're in a correction phase of just like sideways action before prices are going to spring off in one direction or the other. It's possible that this ends up being a larger range like this. Not sure about that yet, but so far it's looking like it could be accurate. Similar on the NQ, downtrend's played out, now we're just kind of going sideways. CL is just going sideways. There's like, it's just a range, obviously. RTY, downtrend's played out. Getting this correction, the short-term uptrend has a breaking new high. There's the possibility for this being a little bit wider, but it feels like this is correct to me right now. Kind of just waiting for the market to make its next move. I'm going to check again and see if Mac has posted his chart. Yep, looks like he has. Let's find out what he's got going on. His chart looks very different. Okay, interesting. So let's pop over to the ES and see. So he's got an uptrend similar to the one that I started the day off with, but he has it just getting basically an instant overshoot. So it's just not useful to have that there. I don't think it's really useful at all. He has the same uptrend with the break a new high. Basically same downtrends. He doesn't have this downtrend though. What he has is this wider one. Okay, I'll put that there. Let's see how that plays out. I do think that my downtrend here is probably correct because it does have a break a new low and it feels right. Let's see how this one plays out though. I'll go over to the NQ and, well, I was gonna say I'll draw something similar on the NQ, but you can't really, unless you just grab stuff off the bottom there and then drag it back so it fits here. That's the only way to kind of do that, but I don't know about that. And we are kind of continuing up here, so definitely the possibility for that uptrend. Possibility, but not like it really helps you really at all. Right, I'll get rid of this screen now. And back to watching. A little bit over an hour left. If prices keep up doing this just sideways action on basically all the charts, then chances of getting an entry are pretty low. But I'm not too concerned about it. It would be kind of crazy to me to not take any trades for 2 days in a row whenever I'm watching all 4 of these charts though. So that might tell me something about myself being too conservative, possibly. But we'll see. I'll have to think about that. I'll have to review that and decide. Oh, I think I might have found the trend on NQ. So this looks like it could be a spike. If you start here, that fits really well. It could be right. Have to see how that plays out, but I like the way that looks though. Okay, so on RTY, it looks like this trend is indeed a little wider. As prices are continuing to work up there. So there's the possibility for a long entry on RTY. Downtrend's played out. It's got those 2 legs down. Now we're moving up. Could get a some type of long entry there. This is kind of a far shot here, but could end up getting a second leg up. I have to say I'd be kind of surprised if that did happen, but I'm going to mark it there just in case. So really I want to keep an eye on the RTY, see if there's any kind of long setup to take, and the NQ I want to see if this downtrend ends up holding, and if it does there might be a short opportunity, maybe like a failed second entry if prices come up, test this, and then test it again. That could be good. On the ES, we're just sort of working sideways in what looks like this range to get back to what could be this downtrend here. And if this one's right, then Mac is a magician, because I did not see this and I didn't even really consider it. So props to Mac if that does end up being right. Okay, downtrend on NQ is not holding. So I really did feel pretty good about this one. And it could technically still be right, but I don't think so. I'm going to remove it. I think having this downtrend play out and then having just this sideways action tells me all I need to know. So the closest would be the RTY, looking for possibly a long to test the break a new high of this uptrend. It's possible that you just draw this tighter, and this is truly tighter like this with a break a new high already. So I want to be aware of that possibility, but be prepared to possibly take a long if one shows up. I'm seeing the possibility for a long on CL. You're having this short-term downtrend get a break and a new low. So if I draw this one, short-term downtrend, break new low, close to this support level. So possibility for a long, again, too sketchy for me. I'm not taking that. Just remembered something that I need to remember for later. If the possibility of a second entry long exists on the RTY, a couple things to think about. First off, this uptrend might already have a break in new high, or it could be wider. I'm unsure. It looks good both ways to me, so I could see it going either way. Everything's played out to the downside. You are making lower highs, ultimately. So definitely some things to like about it, some things to not really like about it. I'm just going to sort of play it by ear and see how I feel. Go ahead and put an order just in case.
Order submitted.
I want to make sure to not just take this trade because I'm like antsy to take a trade or anything like that. Actually, I want to take it if it's a good trade, and that's it. Uptrend, 2 legs down, 2 legs down here. Just unsure whether this trend has a break in new high. So the main reason that I'm taking the trade I'm a little bit unsure about. But I do see why prices might want to go higher regardless. So depending on how it sets up, I might take it. Okay, getting some follow through down momentum after this bearish bar. So unlikely to get any sort of trade here. Still want to keep it ready just in case prices shoot up out of nowhere. Sometimes they do that. Looks like this is going to end as a doji.
Order canceled.
So I have to see whether prices continue higher or whether they go down to see if I was right to even consider a trade there. I hate it whenever a signal bar is the reason that I don't take a trade. Like the reason that I skip a trade that turns out being bad, because it means that I was like a knife's edge away from taking a bad trade. So I really would always prefer to figure out whether I'm, or be right in the direction most of the time. So like if I'm looking to take a long, then I want prices to continue upwards, you know, whether or not I was able to enter or not. Shows me that I was like right in my read, but just didn't get the setup that I was looking for. As opposed to potentially like this one, where if prices continue down here, then I'm going to have been wrong in my read, and I would have been saved by just basically chance. Which is kind of how this is looking right now. So right now it looks like this has probably gotten a break in a new high. Break a new high, and then prices might continue down. But I mean, maybe you consider a failure to go short, but there's no reason to really go short. Not sure if this has a break in new high, so just not really much to do. Price is continuing sideways on this here. range like? Yes, same thing. Same. CL, same. So here's what I mentioned earlier with the short-term downtrend with the break and new low as a possible long. Like I said, I wasn't comfortable taking that, and looks like it was a trap. So more reinforcement to my decision to not take hardly any range trades. Flipping back to the RTY, we're moving down really strongly. So it looks like I was just completely wrong in looking to take a long there, which is basically to me the equivalent of a loss. Even though I didn't take the trade and lose, I would have taken this if it had set up and I would have lost. So that's like the equivalent to me. I was just going through the charts and flipped to my historical one. This is my like study chart where I'll go through past charts sometimes whenever I have time. I wonder if there's like a better way to switch charts. You know, I will look that up really quickly. I'm interested to see if there's a better way to like switch between the charts. I don't usually check the chat ERP medium, but yeah, I am trading sim right now. So for the most part, I keep the chat hidden. I don't like it to be a distraction, but yeah, I am. I'll go ahead and type back to you. Yes. Tabs. Let's see if there's a hotkey to switch between tabs. Oh, control tab. So there we go. I'm not going to be checking the chat probably for a while, maybe even until the end of the session. So I won't see if you say anything again, just letting you know. I should probably mention that more often whenever I'm doing these streams. I really only see it like once or twice during the whole session. Let's see, control tap. Yeah, look at that. Nice. I like that. So I'm not too sure whether this range was correct or not. We are kind of just pushing through the lows there. So resistance, I think, is hard to say that's incorrect. Support is kind of a little bit less sure there. I mean, we do have like a touch almost there, and then like definite touch there, almost touch, and then basically trade right through. So it's not the best. NQ, I like this little range. Similar though, it's very similar to the ES, but this one has more clear touches on the support than the resistance. Looks like this resistance was built off of the old support here. So prices came down, made a double bottom, created this range, and then broke below and pulled back, and then that support became resistance. Still possible. So I was playing this range earlier as a possibility. I had it a little bit tighter, but it's still, I guess, possible, but I still don't really love the look of that. Not really looking for an entry hardly anywhere except for maybe RTY, because that is trading down quite strongly. So we have the short-term downtrend. Prices, you can see here, created so this is the high, created a lower high, and then another lower high. Now we're trending down strongly, so there's the potential for a short, maybe a second entry short. Remarkably slow day today. Just very, very few setups on every single one of the charts. It's just like nothing really to see or consider. not much to really say or do still. Nothing really setting up on the ES. Looks like prices have kind of made a slight breakout pullback, but are mainly just kind of congesting, moving sideways. If this downtrend is correct, which so far it's looking like it is, it's got these touches on the opposite side and the two on the main sort of swings there, then I'm not looking to take a trade unless prices, either make a full correction or come up to the main side of the trend line again. On the NQ, just looks like this downtrend has a break a new low or range, breakout similar to the ES, kind of dropping sideways. It's possible that there is some sort of downtrend here. As I've sort of pointed out, that something like this could be correct. It's definitely a possibility, but I'm not going to put a bunch of weight behind that. In fact, I'm not even going to draw it for now. CL, super sideways. RTY. I mean, just not really much to say here on the RTY. A little bit over half an hour left, about 40 minutes, 39 really. Again, I've been pretty content sitting here. Like, I haven't been feeling like I don't know, I haven't been feeling super antsy, like I need to leave or anything. Sometimes that'll happen whenever it's like a super slow day, but I've been noticing that at least today and yesterday, even though I took no trades and it was, super slow, that I was pretty content sitting here. So I'm feeling that today too, which is good. It's a little bit surprising too, because this morning whenever I was meditating, I noticed that it was super hard to calm my mind and not have it just going off the wall with a bunch of random thoughts. So I have been pretty zoned out for a decent amount of today, but there hasn't really been much to focus on the price action. So I think that's kind of okay. Going to go ahead and remove this measured move. I was talking about earlier, like if prices continued up, that maybe this would be a target, and I highly doubted that they would, but put it there just in case. And with prices turning down here, I'm just going to go ahead and take that off. There's something like clicking over here outside. I don't know what it is. Sounds like a woodpecker. Could be. Well, this last half an hour might be really slow. I was saying, I was like, yeah, I've been pretty content. And now this last half an hour, or really just these last like 5 or 6 minutes have just crawled by. So I hope something picks up here. I don't even care if there's an entry. I just hope there's something that sort of picks up. Okay, so finally picking up in the ES just a little bit. Looks like we might come back to test this trend line. And if we do, possible entry. So my wish has been granted. Same with the NQ, we're getting some movement back, but don't have that same trend line there. I thought about a couple trends. The one that I thought was most correct was probably this one. It still could be. Still could have a break and new low there. I don't know. I'll leave it there just in case because I want to think about that later. But let's, for now, see what happens here. It's moving up strongly on both the ES and the NQ. The NQ looks especially strong though. I think best case scenario for this one to take a trade would be a close outside of this short-term uptrend, a new high, and a big bearish bar coming off of this trend line and off this resistance from earlier. Chances of that happening are pretty low, but it's possible. on the NQ was a pretty strong uptrend, but we are turning down kind of off this resistance here. So if the range was truly maybe something like that, you know, then turning down off that resistance level. So this uptrend continuing to work higher, but you can see the wicks on each one of the highs of these bars, showing that there is some selling coming in. So I'm expecting a break of this soon. Like I said, ideally I'd like to see a close outside of this uptrend and a new high with a big bearish bar off this trend line, and ideally also touching off the resistance. That would be great. Probably won't happen, but if it does, I'll be very interested in that. CL is kind of breaking through what I thought might have been support here, and it looks like it was kind of holding a support, but now we're just kind of chopping along it, so it's kind of, it actually could be lower when I think about it, because you have this little jog here, and then the true low of this bar is like right there, so maybe it's just lower. I'm gonna put that there just in case, but we'll see. I'm not really looking for any trades on CL. And on RTY, looks like the short-term downtrend has a close outside and a new low, creating a double bottom, slightly higher low, and we're just kind of continuing to move sideways. It's like a larger scale kind of sideways where you're getting these like big down, big up through the EMA. EMA's flat, looks like a roller coaster. Just kind of not much to do there. Back to the ES. Let's see what's going to happen here at this trend line. Is this going to hold or not? I'm not sure. Got to let prices show me what they're going to do before I take a trade, though. Hopping over to the incur real quick. If I draw this correction trend, then that's still in play as well. Looks like prices are going to push on through here. Coming on pretty strong up to the trend line. Looks like we are going to push up and through the trend line on the ES, the possible trend line. Makes me think it might actually be incorrect. So it might actually be better just to play this as a break and 2 legs down. So downtrend break, 2 legs down with kind of a range in between, failed breakout. That might be the way that I prefer to play it. And then it kind of fits the NQ as well. This downtrend has a break and a new low. This spike and channel has a break and new low. Again, creates this range, failed breakout, moving higher. Yep, that's what I see right now. A little less than 20 minutes left. Very uneventful day so far. I'm trying to think if you pull this down to where this like leg actually started, it's basically 2 perfect legs, because this is where it's like 1 leg, you get this 2-legged jog up, and this is where the second leg actually like starts here. It's basically 2 perfect legs. And I'm going to redraw this as a channel. I think that I had it right here. So I actually might be interested in taking longs now. It's been like flip-flopping around all day. Longs on the NQ or the ES, it's a pretty strong uptrend right there. So if we get a nice pullback, then I might be willing to take a long. But only about 15 more minutes, so chances of it are kind of low. Shaping up to be a second day of no trades, second day in a row, that is. Which is okay. I don't mind not taking any trades, and I don't see anything that I really feel like I missed out on. That's all you can really ask for. Kind of looking back on this, maybe consider the failed second entry here. But at the time I was looking at this as the downtrend, so I wasn't particularly keen on taking a long. But looking at it now, it looks like the downtrend has a break in 2 legs down, and the prices are coming back within this range, so there's a potential to take that failure. See if there's anything similar. Not really on the NQ, doesn't have that same setup. afraid I probably won't be on long enough to see whether there's a setup on the ES and the NQ. It's looking like there could be a second entry long type of setup on either one of these, but chances of that happening in 10 minutes, pretty low. 9 minutes, actually. Well, this is unfortunate. The right whenever prices start moving is about the time that I'll be hopping off, but is what it is. If prices do continue up, then I'll be looking for a measured move of this initial move. So that's if they continue up, and that is, it's pretty far up there. And that's the same for the ES as well, if they continue upwards. But again, that's a pretty strong move up from where we are right now. That's another 23 points, so you know, it's not out of the question, but we'll just have to see. CL making me think that there's some kind of downtrend working down. The thing is, I just can't quite see what would fit down here. I mean, maybe that, but if you start it here, then you're starting it in some random, like just like a random place. Super choppy on the way down. And then, yeah. So continuing down pretty strongly though. So this range definitely is not correct, but I'm going to put this resistance here because I think that is. See it here, comes back there. Definitely the resistance is correct. But where the downtrend might be is a question. I guess it could be there. It just kind of feels weird that it would start in such a random place. Clearly prices are working down though. I mean, they're really choppy on the way down there, but they're working down, so you know, maybe something like that. And the RTY is just moving sideways really. So I think this uptrend had a break a new high, downtrend break a new low. Now you could draw it a little wide like this. It's probably like this, probably looking for a break a new high, that uptrend. But nothing really happening on CL or RTY that I'd be interested in. Maybe some sort of short on RTY, longs on ES and NQ for sure. That's about all I see. Well, it's unfortunate, but I think that's it for me. Probably get a retest of the highs of this uptrend on the ES. So I'm assuming this trend will break sometime soon, and then it'll likely get a retest. So I'd be looking for some sort of long there, especially if there's a nice two-legged pullback. Same with the NQ. I definitely think that these will get retests of the highs. So a good two-legged pullback would be really nice there. On CL, I'm unsure of this downtrend, but if it continues to look correct, and then there's some sort of pullback to the trend line, then that could be good. And RTY, I probably wouldn't look for anything at all. But I think that's it for me. I mean, hopping off in another minute, so I'm just going to go ahead and end it. Okay. So I'm checking out the chat right now. I'm not sure if you're still here, ERP Media, but I'm reading your chats here. So when am I planning to trade non-sim? I have traded Apex accounts before. I actually have two 25K accounts that are live currently. Like I could trade them. But the thing is, I've just been pretty much break even for the past little while now, a few months. So at some point, I'll probably look to go live, or at least go trade another Apex eval or something. But just kind of waiting until I don't know, I guess seeing some profitability in the simulator. Since I've been trading the 4 charts, the ES, the NQ, the CL, and the RTY, I've been doing pretty well. So I've been thinking about making that switch back to Apex. Thanks for the compliment on the chart drawing and the trend lines. And yeah, the strategy is max PATs. So I've been trading this for going on 3 years. Actually, in a few days, it'll be my 3-year anniversary, I guess, for trading PATs. But I think I'm going to go ahead and hop off. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. I think I'll be trading. Yeah, I'll be trading tomorrow. And then I plan to keep doing these live tradings. I really like seeing the going back and watching the video. But anyway, thank you. Good luck with your trading as well.